So let's be real. California's housing market is completely broken. But a whole new wave of state laws is forcing a massive change. In the next few minutes, we're going to break down the exact bills that are creating some huge new opportunities for anyone who owns property or wants to build.
I mean, you already know the story, right? Sky-high prices, just not enough homes to go around. This is not a new problem. But what is new is the state's solution. And honestly, it's pretty radical.
You see, for decades, local cities could basically block any new housing they didn't like. Well, not anymore. The state has stepped in, and they've passed a bunch of laws that tell cities, look, you will approve more homes, whether you like it or not.
The best way to think about these laws is like a new toolkit, one that gives you, the property owner, some seriously powerful new rights. The right to add more units, build higher, and get your projects approved way faster. So, let's open up the box and see what's inside. All right, first up is a tool that targets the most common type of property in all of California, the single-family lot. This is Senate Bill 9, but most people just call it the duplex law.
Okay, so here's how it works. SB 9 lets you take a normal single-family lot and build a duplex on it. Or, get this, you can split the lot in two and build a duplex on each new piece. The key here is that it's a ministerial process. That just means if you follow the rules, the city pretty much has to say yes. Now, there are some limits, of course. You can't just tear down rent-controlled housing, and an owner has to live in one of the units.
And this, right here, shows you the power of this law. On a piece of land where you used to have just one home, SB 9 creates the potential for 4. For a property owner, that's a massive shift. You're talking about potentially quadrupling the value and the use of your land.
So SB 9 unlocks density on single-family lots. Great. The next couple of tools in our kit take that same idea and supercharge it for affordable housing and for all those underused commercial properties out there.
First up is AB 1763. You can think of this one as the ultimate green light for anybody who's focused on building 100% affordable housing projects.
And this is where you really see the state flexing its muscle. If you're building a project that's 100% affordable and it's near public transit, this law just completely throws the local zoning rules out the window. It gets rid of height caps, it gets rid of density caps. You could build a tower where the local rules might have only allowed for a 3-story building. It's huge.
All right, next up, a total game changer for all those dying strip malls and empty office parks you see everywhere. AB 2011 is designed to turn them into housing.
This law basically unlocks all that land that's zoned for commercial use and says, yep, you can build homes here now. But the really critical part is that it gives you a streamlined approval path that's exempt from CEQA. Now, CEQA is the state's big environmental law, and it's often used to file lawsuits that can stall or kill projects for years. This bill just cuts right through all that red tape.
Okay, so we've unlocked new types of land. Now let's talk about the laws that let you pile on even more units, and just as importantly, speed up that painfully slow approval process.
If you thought AB 2011 was good, well, check out its sequel, AB 2243. It takes that powerful tool for building on commercial land, and you guessed it, makes it even better.
It does two really simple but powerful things. First, it makes even more sites eligible, like high-rise districts and land near freeways. And second, and this is huge, it puts the city on a shot clock. They have a mandatory 60 to 90-day deadline to approve your project if it follows the rules. No more waiting around forever.
Next is a really powerful financial tool. AB 1287 is all about letting developers potentially double the number of units they can build just by including more affordable housing in their plans.
Okay, let's just walk through this example right here. In step 1, let's say your basic zoning allows for a 100-unit building. So in step 2, you add some affordable units, and you get the standard density bonus, which bumps you up to 150 units. Pretty good. But AB 1287 lets you go even further. If you max out your affordable units, you can stack a second bonus on top, as you can see in step 3, potentially doubling your project to 200 units, all on the exact same piece of land.
You know, one of the biggest things that kills housing projects is just delay. Cities used to be able to hold hearing after hearing after hearing until a developer just ran out of money and gave up. Well, SB 330 puts a stop to that.
And this is the heart of it right here, the 5-hearing rule. If your project follows the city's own written rules, they cannot drag you through more than 5 public hearings. It gives you certainty and prevents good projects from dying a death by 1,000 cuts.
And now for what might be the single most powerful tool in the entire toolkit, SB 79. If you own land anywhere near a major transit stop, this law completely rewrites the rulebook for you. This table basically tells the whole story. SB 79 sets mandatory minimums for height and density near transit. Just look at that top row. If your property is in a Tier 1 area, think a major train station, and it's within a quarter mile, the city has to let you build at least 75 feet high, with at least 120 units per acre. And even if you're a little further out, or near a bus line, the minimums are still incredibly generous. The big takeaway is this: the state, not your local city, now sets the baseline for what you can build, and that baseline is high.
Okay, I know that was a lot, so let's pull it all together in one simple cheat sheet to see how all these tools actually fit together.
This really puts it all in perspective. Need more units on your single-family lot? That's SB 9. Need more height for an affordable project? AB 1763 gives you a check mark with no cap. But notice the one column where almost every single bill gets a green check? Faster approval. That's the common thread here. Whether it's a ministerial process, a CEQA exemption, or the 5-hearing limit, all these laws are designed to get projects to a yes faster.
Look, these laws don't pour the concrete for you, but they completely change the math. They tear down the biggest barriers, the crazy low density limits, the height limits, and those endless approvals that have choked off new housing for decades. The default is finally shifting from no to yes.
The rules of the game have fundamentally changed. If you own property in California, especially commercial land or anything near transit, it is almost certainly more valuable today than it was yesterday. Your land has new potential. The only question left is, what are you going to build?